I have to highlight that not everyone actually speaks the same way. So also it's going to depend on the level of education that that individual has. If the person is educated, so then that person is going to use like the language in a more correct way, obviously. I just wanted to highlight that. I just wanted to make sure that everyone understands that not every single Puerto Rican, not every single Dominican actually is going to sound the same. It's going to depend based on their level of education and their preference too. Occasionally is when we are using, like what you guys call fast Spanish, which that's the one that you guys hear when you're listening to Puerto Rican friends and Dominican friends like speaking to each other, um, or when you're listening to music. Okay, um, so that's the tendency, or those are the tendencies that I want to cover today on this video on how to pronounce Dominican Spanish or Caribbean Spanish, um, or how to understand when Dominicans and Puerto Ricans are actually talking Spanish. With that out of the way, let's get to the video. Dropping the letter S. ¿Cómo estás becomes ¿Cómo está? Los amigos becomes lo amigo. The letter R becomes L. And it usually happens if the word ends with the letter R or if the letter R is in the middle of a word. For example, comprar becomes comprar. Amor becomes amor. If you are still there and you are following with this video, I'll give you another example. The word molestar, which means to bother in English. If you have Puerto Rican or Dominican friends, chances are that instead of saying molestar, they would say moletal. Moletal. And that's another example of where they actually drop the S, and so they change the letter R to the letter L at the end of the word. You have to be very careful when you're listening to Dominican Spanish or Puerto Rican Spanish, because those letters, like the letter S at the end of the words or the letter R, with actually changed to the letter L. So sometimes they just don't disappear completely. Sometimes they are present, but they sound very soft, and that's just how the language is, and that kind of give it a little bit of music to the language too, or the dialect. Softening or just cutting off the letter D completely. For example, instead of saying cansado, it would sound, or you would say cansado. Cansado. And I hear that a lot in Dominican Republic. Helado instead of helado. Mira, dame un helado. We make some everyday words or phrases shorter. For example, the word para becomes pa, just like it sounds, pa. The phrase estoy bien would sound like estoy bien. Or the phrase todo está bien would sound like todo está bien. Todo está bien, papi. This is the reason why people say that Caribbean Spanish, especially the Spanish that is spoken in Puerto Rico and the Spanish that we speak in Dominican Republic, sound very fast, is because of these tendencies. Um, but do not worry. So definitely, if you listen to it, you're gonna catch on those phrases and words where we actually either change the letters or we just cut the letters completely. It's just a matter of practice and get used to it. So, hasta luego, and don't forget to subscribe.